Okay, so now that we are beginning 1.5, this is subtracting rational numbers. And so whenever we are subtracting, there's some things that we need to remember. So first, we need to remember that we keep the first number the same. So this is the same. We change subtraction to addition. And then we change the sign of the second number. So then once we do that, now that it's an addition problem because we turned it to an addition sign, we can use our addition rules. So adding integers with the same sign means that we add and we add the absolute value, so the positive values of the integers, and we keep the sign. And then when adding different signs, we subtract the lesser, so the smaller number, from the greater or larger number. And then we take the sign of our larger number. All right, so let's look at example 1. So example 1, we have two denominators that are the same. So it says write the problem as add the opposite. So that's step 1. So let's do that. So this is actually 1 over 5 plus, because we have to add the opposite, and the opposite of negative 4 over 5 is just 4 over 5, because this now turns positive. Are the denominators the same? If not, what is the LCM? So yes, they are the same. They both are over 5. Same sign or different sign. These are both positive numbers now. We ignore this one. We no longer use our original problem. Now we are more focused on just adding those two fractions together. So they are the same. They're both over 5 and they're both positive. Step 4, do we add or subtract? When they're the same, we add. And so my answer, 1 plus 4 is 5. And that's over 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so my answer is just 1. And my answer is a positive 1 because both my numbers were positive. Example 2, rewrite the problem as add the opposite. So this is actually negative 4 and 1/7 plus a negative, because this is add the opposite, 5 over 7. Are our denominators the same? Well, first we need to turn them into improper fractions. So 4 times 7 plus 1. So that's 28 plus 1 is 29. So we have 29 over 7. It's negative because this was negative. Add the opposite. So we have plus negative 5 over 7. Yes, they are both over 7. So we have the same denominators. They are both negative, so they're both the same. So we're going to add them. So add our top numbers, keep our bottom. So it's going to be over 7. 29 plus negative 5. So this is going to be 34, and it'll be negative. 7 goes into 34 4 times. It's going to be negative. And 4 times 7 is 28. So 28 is 6 away from 34. So my answer is negative 4 and 6/7. So my answer here is negative. All right, example 3. Write the problem as add the opposite. So we have 4 plus, so we have to do add the opposite, so plus -5 and 1/2. Do they have the same denominators? If not, what's the LCM? So whenever we have a whole number, our denominator's over 1. So now we need to do 2 times 5 plus 1, so that's 10, 11. So we have 11 over 2, that's negative, plus 4 over 1. Now we need to make these common denominators. So to make 1 turn into a 2, I'm going to multiply this fraction by 2 on top and bottom. And so 4 times 2 is 8 over 2 plus negative 11 over 2. So now it's over 2. These are different signs. So we are going to subtract. So 11 minus 8 is 3 over 2. And then do 3 one time. So that's 1 and 1 left over. So 1 and 1.5. But my bigger number was negative. So my answer is going to be negative. All right. Example 4. So rewrite using add the opposite. So we have so many things happening here. Okay, so we have -1/3. Add the opposite. So we're going to add instead of subtract, and then we add the positive version of that negative fraction. So now we need to make them common denominators. So we are going to multiply by 4 on this side and by 3 on this side. And that gives me 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 1 is 4. That'll be negative. Plus 8 times 3 is 27 over 12. So these are now different signs. So we are going to subtract. So 27 minus 4 equals 23 over 12. So this means that 12 goes into 23 one time with 11 left over. And this is going to be positive because my bigger number was positive. So you are now going to do the 2 triads on your own. So then there'll be a separate video to check your answers with mine.